Foxboro is buzzing. Patriots Nation. There's a quiet shuffle in the backfield, a burst of respect from the other sideline that set talk radio on fire, a war chest ready for a bold swing, and a firm message behind closed doors that reset the tone. Nothing obvious, everything intentional. Clues on the grass, hints behind the mic, and a path opening for New England to shock the rest of the league. Want to feel the Patriot way pulsing right now? You won't believe what's on tap today. So grab a seat, smash that like, and let's dive straight into it, because this could be the week that changes the conversation in Foxboro for good. Silence on the schedule, noise in the locker room. The Patriots reinforced the backfield at precisely the moment the route towards Sunday began to take shape at Gillette. After a lightning-fast cut in the desert, a veteran landed in Massachusetts with a detail that says everything about intent, a locker already assigned, and the number. 34 jersey waiting. Read the message. The staff doesn't want improvisation against the Falcons. It wants depth, experience, and special teams sharp enough to steal yards in a tight game. You can almost see the outline. A veteran back who won't ask for the spotlight, but will seize the little moments that swing field position and third downs. The name is D'Ernest Johnson. Fresh off the Cardinals practice squad, he stepped right into New England's plan and was on the field for the first practice of the week. The profile pops. A 5'10", 208-pound runner with patient vision and a history of producing when the number is called, 748 rushing yards on 141 attempts with 3 touchdowns in Cleveland, plus 31 catches for 229 yards and 26 kick returns for 646 yards on special teams. In Jacksonville, he was a steady reserve and returner. In Baltimore, he battled to the wire on roster cuts, and he even flashed versatility during his AAF stint. Most recently, he logged 14 offensive snaps in Week 7 for Arizona and 1 carry that went nowhere. But the tape still shows a prepared pro who protects the ball and squeezes extra yards after first contact. That's exactly the profile you want when the weather turns and every possession shrinks. Context explains the timing. Terrell Jennings earned a promotion to the 53 after exhausting his in-season elevations, which meant the practice squad needed a fresh anchor for contingency reps. Johnson now joins Jonathan Ward and Rashawn Baker, and suddenly the room has complementary skill sets, above-average pass protection, outside zone patience, reliable hands on checkdowns, and above all, kick return juice that flips hidden yardage. Against Atlanta, a club that can concede short field advantages on special teams, every return to the 27 instead of the 21 matters. A 5-yard head start changes run fits, invites play action on schedule, and turns 3rd and 6 into 3rd and medium. It's football arithmetic the Patriots have weaponized for 2 decades, and it still wins in November. Schematically, Johnson widens the menu. Inside zone to let his patients sift through the gaps. Duo to punish light fronts that bet on quickness over mass. Screens to punish late pressure and keep the edges honest. He doesn't need 15 carries. He needs the right 6 to 8 at the right times to keep the defense from teeing off and to take hits off the quarterback. In short yardage, his forward fall and ball security bring the good kind of predictability to the script. And if the wind gets tricky in Foxboro, sure hands in the return game become even more valuable. The bottom line, this is Patriot Way roster craft. Cold-eyed adjustments that turn into hot execution on Sunday. If New England is fortifying the back of the chessboard like this, imagine what happens when the bigger pieces start to move. There's something Patriots fans love when respect comes from the outside, especially from a trench rival. Mike Vrabel couldn't hide his grin when he talked about Myles Garrett after the 32-13 win over the Browns. He understands the weight of the word dominant, and Garrett turned chaos into art. 5 sacks, constant heat, and the sensation he was everywhere near Drake May. Even in a convincing win, New England felt the force of Cleveland's star. That duality, win the game, respect the record, says a lot about where this team's head is right now. Grounded, serious, and relentlessly competitive. The head coach was blunt on the Greg Hill show. God gave him a little extra. Thank God he's not in our division. That line did 2 things at once. It showed humility and genuine respect, and it lit up the fan imagination. If a coach like Vrabel says that on air who didn't immediately picture number 95 in red, white, and blue, cue the rumor mill, the trade machines, the cap calculators, and the comment section chaos that makes an NFL week in New England a full contact sport. And yes, it is a pipe dream, but the strategic exercise is the point. When you measure yourself against a player like Garrett, you're aiming your program at the right star. Let's be adults and still enjoy the daydream. Myles Garrett in Foxboro would feel like the 2019 front 7 reborn, only supercharged. The impact would be massive across the board. Alignments tilt, protections slide, and Harold Landry 3 gains even more freedom to hunt from the edge, forcing quarterbacks to hit the panic button a beat earlier. Suddenly, the line looks like a modern wall, not just a front. It's fantasy, yes, but the logic tracks. The Patriots have cap space, extra picks, and a head coach who lived the pass rush life. Pressure creates turnovers, and turnovers become wins. If Vrabel admires Garrett this much, don't be shocked if admiration turns into a phone call. If, and only if, Cleveland ever pivots to a reset. The conversation itself is proof that New England's standards are rising. You can feel the temperature changing in Foxboro. The team has shifted from surviving to contending. The Patriots are 6-2 and sitting atop the AFC East, and the vibe is unmistakable. New England is setting the rhythm again. The roster breathes confidence, the fan base is daring to dream, and most telling, Vrabel is acting like a coach who sees the window open and wants to sprint through it with force. This is what buyers look like at the deadline, and it's been a while since that label fit around here. The difference now is the alignment between sideline and front office. The moves make sense on paper, and the tape is catching up. The transactions told the story. Keon White to the 49ers, Kyle Duggar to the Steelers, both packaged with a 7th to bring back a 6th. That's cold, forward-looking accounting that opens room for something bigger. If you wanted confirmation that this front office will move popular players to reshape the roster on the fly, you got it. It also clarifies the identity. They're prioritizing scheme fits and resource flexibility over nostalgia. The only lingering question is what they plan to load into the space they just created, and that's where a familiar name to Vrabel jumps off the board. Derrick Henry, the king of Vrabel's Tennessee years, the engine that turned handoffs into body blows and body blows into fourth-quarter haymakers. He's in Baltimore now, but the fit in New England is so clean you can draw the play sheet in your head. Drop Henry behind Drake May, and the play action becomes a sledgehammer. Defenses stack the box, the line breathes, receivers separate, and an offense that's already trending efficient starts dictating terms. For Vrabel, it's not just tactics, it's identity. He knows exactly how to extract every ounce from Henry's north-south style, and the ripple effect is obvious. Clock control, red zone blunt force, and a lower stress script for a young quarterback who already looks unflappable. And if Baltimore's extension means the door is closed, the blueprint still applies to any veteran downhill back who shakes loose. Of course, the price would be steep, but the cap allows it, the picks exist, and the locker room can feel what a win-now swing would say about belief. With Antonio Gibson out for the year and week-to-week variables behind him, the logic is obvious. If there's a moment to be bold, this is it. New England has spent recent seasons learning hard lessons about margins. The lesson of 2025 so far is simpler. When the window opens, you shove. Momentum is fragile. Opportunity doesn't owe you a second knock. Whether it's Henry or another veteran, the outline of the move is the same. An addition that shortens games, raises the floor on bad weather Sundays, and gives the defense permission to hunt with a lead. Then comes the kind of story that proves why the Patriot way still hits different. Christian Barmore started the Browns game on the bench, no injury designation, no obvious hint during the week. After the final whistle, Vrabel delivered the message without varnish. My job is to protect the team. When something isn't aligned with what we want to do, I make a decision and we move on. Discipline over status, standards over ego. The result? The room heard it and the player responded. Barmore, a pillar up front, answered the right way. He checked in during the second quarter, helped force an intentional grounding that set up a late safety, and left with his head up. At the next practice on the fields behind Gillette, he was already grinding and delivered the most Patriots line possible. I've moved on. Next question. Let's focus on the Falcons. That's not a soundbite, that's culture. Fans noticed, and so did the league. What could have become a controversy turned into a case study in how leadership and maturity coexist. When a coach draws a line and a player responds with work, the locker room gets tighter. That's how a program grows week to week. Context matters. Barmore battled a serious health scare last year and clawed his way back. He's flashing again. Disruptive snaps, quarterback hits, and the kind of interior push that makes edges look faster. Meanwhile, big-ticket addition Milton Williams has settled next to him, and the two are building something that looks suspiciously like a wall. When the head coach points to that chemistry and nods, it's more than a compliment. It's a blueprint. That's a team rediscovering identity, physical, aggressive, and purposeful. The league measures rosters, Foxboro measures standards, and lately, those standards look very familiar. One more note that changes the edge math going forward. Harold Landry 3 isn't just a splashy name, he's a real present problem for offenses in the system. His speed to power sets the edge of the defense and shortens the quarterback's clock, especially when paired with inside push. If you're thinking about how a hypothetical blockbuster would cascade into assignments and spacing, that's exactly the point. The more New England forces protections to declare early, the more creative they can get with simulated pressure and late rotation. It's not about star chasing, it's about dictating to the offense for 4 quarters. Zoom out and the picture sharpens. The Patriots didn't stumble into 6-2 by accident, they earned it by stacking professional weeks. Drake May's calm has stabilized the offense. The line is playing on time. The staff has leaned into what travels: physicality, special teams, and situational execution. None of that is flashy on a Tuesday. All of it is devastating on a Sunday. That's why these roster ripples matter so much. They're not about headlines, they're about margin. And margin is the currency of November football in New England. So here's the bottom line today. Depth built with intention, ambition tuned by reality, and a locker room aligned by leadership. Johnson arrives to give meaningful snaps and hidden yards. Respect for Myles Garrett sets the standard of excellence. The possibility of a bold market swing shows hunger. And the Barmore episode hardens the culture. If the league underestimated New England, that's on the league. Our job is to keep the pressure on, week after week. Tell me down below, is it time for an all-in move? Or is steady, ruthless evolution the smarter path? Hit like, subscribe, share with that diehard friend, and let's keep this debate rolling. Because if this is what October looks like, imagine the noise when the real games of December begin.